Hi, good morning, guys. Hi, good morning, guys. I'm waiting for Shay to make up here and the host now. So, good morning, everybody. So, to continue from where we stopped the last class, and for those of us that are just joining for the first time, welcome to JavaScript class. So, we've talked about a lot of things, and I can confirm that the classes have been included. So, I don't think we have any excuses. not to have an idea of what we discussed prior to this time. So we stopped at array and we discussed some methods on array. We discussed the pop method, the push method, the shift method, the unshift. We talked about the delete. We talked about concat, and we talked about several more. So my intentions for this class is to go deeper into array methods. So it's conflicting to me because I also want you guys to do the work. I plan to give you guys an assignment that will enable you guys do more on that. Maybe that's what I'll do. What we'll do today is discuss more on objects. So we'll be dealing with objects today. And after this class, I'll drop an assignment for us that facilitate us know more about arrays because there are still other methods like the splice method, the split method. There are also how you can search with arrays using the find keyword, the index keyword. So there are many things we can do. But for today, we'll be talking about objects and we'll go deeper into what we discussed prior to now. So I would share my screen now and would start from where it stops. So just give me a second. Share my screen. Screen one. Yeah. Yeah. So first things first, what we're going to do is to start up our project. Like I mentioned earlier, so I would navigate to the folder I've been using. We have it in the workspace. Go down to Zoom, JavaScript class. So I'll start my folder. I'll be using VS Code for this. You can use any ID of your choice, but I'll be using VS Code for this. So I'll wait for I'll do the needful. I'll increase the um, font size. Yes, I think this is okay. Can you guys see my screen? Can you confirm you guys can see my screen?
We can see your screen.
Fair enough. Then.
I think you need to zoom.
This is Zoom or is okay like this because this was the last Zoom we used for. Okay.
Please, can you
So
zoom a bit? Good morning, sir.
okay. I don't think I can because I will not be able to work with this. Can you kindly manage this for me? If I zoom in like this, then it will be very difficult for me to work because it's like in my face. But let's try like this. Let's just manage like this. Is it better now?
Yes, it's better. Thank you.
Alright. So I'll close this tab and I'll open a new folder. I'll name it 004. This is our first class. And we'll do what we've been always doing. Open our index.html, open our JavaScript file. Yes, we have this here. Then open new file, index.html. We also open our app.js. So this is where the logic goes in, and this is where we'll be linking our file. So first things first, use your exclamation mark. Then you have this boilerplate. Then as earlier discussed, you can link your JavaScript here in the head or in the body. But what I prefer is doing it in the head. So you can easily do it like this, script, then navigate to your JavaScript file. Always remember to put this default keyword. I explained why in the previous class. So you can check it if you still don't know why. Then it's linked now, so we have to test it. Let's come here and say hello world. Console log. hello world. Hello world. So come and navigate. Let's do open live server. Open live server. So for this class, I'm using an incognito tab because the last time we complained that you guys will not see my screen. So I'll open a new incognito tab and I'll paste it here. Perfect. So if I go to the console, I'm expected to see hello world. Yes, hello world. So we'll do what we did. I'll zoom this out and I'll zoom this in. So I'll refresh again. Let's see. Yes, hello world. So welcome to this class. We'll be talking about objects. We've done that before, but I'll start by explaining from the scratch for those that are not in class. So object, like I rightly explained, is more or less like a profile. So it's like an ID
Ìdúnídò ta
card.
ló nígbà gan kọ́ ló nígbà.
Wow.
Èyí lomi ti ń jà. Ìtàn náà nìyí.
Sorry about that. So like I was saying here, objects are more or less like a profile that holds many items or properties of a particular person. So let me see who will be our case study today. Let me find the random name. Let's see Harrison. So let's use Harrison today. So let's say const Harrison is equals to, or let's use girl. Let's use girl. And let's say girl is equals to a string, Catherine. Yes. So now this is like everything we know about girl. Girl is Catherine. But we need more info to it. We need to know what Catherine likes, what Catherine eats, what Catherine watch. If I'm getting it correct. Yeah, I'm correct now. What Catherine does basically. But we can't start saying const girl is equals to Catherine in const girl food is equals to, let's say, rice. Then I'll come here and say const girl color is equals to pink. This is extremely stressful. Extremely stressful. So imagine you have like 100 items on that cafe. You have to come and start listing it like this. It's proper, it's not proper at all, I won't say, because it makes it more difficult. And that's where object comes in place. So like I rightly said, yeah, you can initiate an object using the curly brace. So with this, basically, initiated an object. So let's make a profile for Catherine. So let's say const girl is equals to an object. So this is an object now. And in this object, we can rightly define everything that we need to define. And I'll start off by saying firstly, then I can say Harrison. I can come on and say lastly, and I can say Catherine. And I'll say age. I can come on and say 25. I'm guessing, I don't know her age. I can come on and say eye color, let's say brown. Eye color, brown. So with this now, I've created a profile for Catherine. And I can go on and say boy, because let's look for a boy. Let's look for a random boy, Shegun. So I'm using Shegun. So let's initiate an object also and come and say first name equals Shegun. Or I'm just interested in the first name of Shegun. I don't want to list his last name. And I can say his age is 30. And we can come on and say his favorite food. Let's just say food is fufu. So I created two profiles now, a profile for a boy and a profile for a girl. The profile for a boy basically is holding just the first name, the age, and the food. And the profile for the girl is holding first name, last name, age, and eye color. So with this, we've initiated an object basically. So this is like just a simple way to initiate a project, an object rather. There are various methods on an object. You can also create an object using object.create. If you remember when we talked about uh, array, we made mention of saying you can say const array is equals to new array, then do this. So this is like another way to create an array if you don't want to use like the way we discussed earlier. You can also use object.create. So let's say for instance now you want to create an object. Same way we did it. Just come on and say const, let's say girl is equals to new, then come and say object dot create. So with this, basically, you can use girl here, and I would love us to refresh on that. So I'll omit you guys. Can someone tell me why? I think it's common knowledge now, but why can't we use girl here? Why can't we use girl? Anybody?
But you cannot redeclare this thing using const.
Perfect. Because we are using const here, so we can't declare girl because guess what, you're not variable. But if I change it to var here and I come here, you see, let me go because I mean you can use var to redeclare, also use const to redeclare, it does not really matter. But ideally you can't do that. So I can say object here or new object is equals to this. So you can basically create also this method. There's also another method to create an object. So you can come and say const person is equals to an object. So these are, you can come and say person dot first name is equals to let's say Mark. So first name is equals to Mark, and let's say person dot last name is equals to Shane. So what we've done basically now is we've categorically imputed. Now we have an empty object here. There's no key to it, and there's no value to it. You can do this in creating an object, and you can also come here and say, okay, you want the first name of this particular person object to be Mark. I want the first name of this particular person object to be Shane. So if I come and let's test it out, let's console log person, and let's see what appears on the console. Without any console, let's check our console here. So we have first name Mark, last name Shane. But if you note here, we didn't categorically say, okay, here the key is here, the key is here. So you can also do this in creating an object. So I've mentioned or highlighted 3 ways you can create an object. You can use this, you can use the boy keyword, just use the curly brace, enter your key, enter your value. You can initiate it also doing this. A new object or create is similar to what we have for our array also. Then you can initiate an empty object by filling the gap, as you rightly said, or filling the object manually. So this is how you can practically do it. So next thing we'll be discussing is how to access the items in an object. So we've discussed how to use an object, how to start an object. What we'll discuss promptly now is how to access an object. So let's say we have person. Now let's add more items to this. So let's say person dot age is equals to 50, and let's see person dot color is equals to, let's say, red. So I'll console log person now. Can anybody tell me what you are expected to see on the console? Anybody? Can anybody tell me what we are expected to see on the console? So we have first name, last name, age, color. Anybody? Okay, nobody. So let's
The
check the
full
first one.
object.
So we can't see the full object. And we have an error, reference error, red is not defined. So can anybody also tell us why red here? I mean, red is a color, but why is it saying it's undefined when I'm stating that red is a color here? I mentioned this in our last class. Anybody? Does anybody
Sorry,
remember?
can you say that again?
Because it's a string, but the way you declare it is not, you are not stating it as a string.
Beautiful. So basically, if you are declaring your items here, you have to do it either you use a string, but if you're using a variable, then you have to initialize that variable first before declaring it. So what I did here, I just used red, but there's no reference for red in our whole code base. I'm not saying red is equals to anything. So if I come here and say const red is equals to red is string. If I go back to our console, I should see first name mark, last name Shane, age 50, and color red. If you notice now, there's like this string inside red. But the mistake I made here intentionally was just to use red without initializing it. So in all cases, you should be very careful checking this stuff out. So let's come back and do this and say, okay, person dot color is equals to red. So if you go back and check, we'll see our full console stating first name to be marked, last name to be changed, age to be 15, and colors to be red. What you can do also now is to clone an object. So for instance, now I can say const z is equals, or const x is equals to person. If I come here and say console.log x, let me comment this one out on the console. As you can see, we have the same item we have for our person as our x. So what we've done now, we said, okay, x, hold this variable, and this variable is an object. So I've driven it down to a two-step way. X is a variable holding another variable, but this variable is set an object. So you can also do this, and I'll tell you where this comes in play as we move on. So I can come and say x dot age, and if you note here, I'm not initializing age under x anywhere here. But if I come and check our console, what we'll see is 50. And what happened basically is I've said, okay, under this person, there's age and it's 50. So when you're assessing it, assess it under age. And if you check what we have 50. I can come where and say, okay, let's see x dot color. Basically, you can also do this if you don't want to touch the item and you want to like manipulate the content here. We'll move further into that. So basically, as a summary, I gave us an idea of how to create an object. We have three ways which are indicated. The girl, you can do that starting like an empty object, then initialize your values units outside the object. You can also do that inside the object, having your keyword and your value basically. So next thing we'll move on is what are object properties. So you have properties on how to access your object. So if you notice what I did here now, I said x dot color. So this basically is how you access items in the property. So you have your item variable, then you are putting dots. Once you put dots, every item you have ordinarily comes in play. So let's particularize it. So if I say console.log girl, if I say girl dots, if you notice, my first suggestion here, let me bring this down. Let me start again. My first suggestion here is age items that we highlighted inside the scale object. So to access any of it, we can just say eye color. So what we've done now is So this is how you access properties in a particular object. So you can use this method. There's also there are three methods to this basically, but this is like commonly used one. This is this is what you find like along the line. You check most code base. If you want to access an object, you are more likely to do this. I'll console log this out and let's confirm what we have. So here the last name is supposed to be Catherine. Yes, correct. Last name. Let me switch this. Our last name is Harrison. Let's change his first name. Let's change his last name. So let's check our console again. Perfect. Harrison. So come back and see if we do this, what is going to fetch us is let's confirm that property. Then put it here. A property assets. And this to access a property. So you can if you audit it. For the third, you can also like let's see expression here. So the expression in this sense is that I'm going to state that okay, s is equals to h. Let me bring this down because I stated here now that okay, let me bring this down. It's easier that way. Remember, I cloned x now to be this particular person, so I can come back and say girl is equals to x dot. As you can see, we have all the items. All um, oh, shit. I'm using your here. Let's use person. Let's see again. Hold. I'm making a mistake somewhere. I'm making a mistake somewhere. Just give me a minute. Let me sort this out. This is equals to let's see control log x equals to h. This is one of the things you face when coding. There are times you have your errors and your bugs. But let's solve this out. We are trying to access this with an expression. So let's do this and see um let's see x equals to h. And let's come in and see x. Let's see. Um, I can use the same variable. Let's use y here. And let's see y. Yeah, perfect. Nice. Okay. So what happened initially is the mistake I was making here is, let me move this and put it here. So to use an expression, you have to first initialize that expression. I didn't do that here. What I did is just copying an object and accessing the age on the person's body. But the ideal thing to do is, first of all, initialize the expression. So for here now, we are saying y is equals to age. So y is equals to age, then what we're going to do now, we are going to check on the x individual, the x object, and try and access age from it. Do you understand? So now what it's doing is it's checking through x and using age as a search parameter. So ordinarily, x is person, it comes under person and check under age, and we have this basically. Compared to what I did here, which is not supposed to be. So I'll remove this and we'll go with this. So I'll explain it again. So if you are using the third way to check, you have your objects basically, but you have to initialize the expression you want to use. And let's try it here again. Let's say z is equals to const, z is equals to I color. So you have an expression here. So we can come and say console dog girl, but this time I'm using z. So what this does is it finds the girl object, then look for the expression indicated to z, which is I color. So it goes and let's see what we have. Let's check our console. Let's refresh. We have brown. So this is the initializer. I'm using the expression as a search parameter. So this is the third way to access a property. So we've discussed how to access properties in an object. If there are any questions to what you don't understand so far, kindly let me know and I would explain it to us. Any questions so far? Anything you don't understand?
Please, what's the property here?
So this is the property. So there's a value, there's a key, and there's a value. So for instance, now we are saying lastly, this particular item here is the property. This particular item here is the property. But you can subdivide it, say there's a key pair and there's a value pair. So this is the key pair. So more or less like the holder, and this is what is holding. Do you understand? But to analyze it like on a more simpler technique than say property. So properties are each item and object. So there's various, there are four properties here. And you understand?
Yes, I understand now. Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Please, I have a question.
So furthermore, what would do? Yeah, shoot.
Please, I have a question. Can you hear me?
And we shoot. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, please, can you can you explain to me again,
I can
also
hear you.
what's the difference between an array and an object?
What is the difference between an array and an object? Okay,
Yeah.
I'll explain it to you. But before I do that, anybody wants to discuss that with us? Anybody that was in the last class? Anybody? Before I go, I would like someone to. Chidima.
Hello, good morning. Okay, an array is like a tray. It can house so many things at the same time. So let's say we have const array. You open up the brackets. You can put the name, the favorite food, the age, the color, and all of them will be on the same inside the same bracket. And whenever you mention that array, everything will come up. But objects, well, it's the same thing, no, but the difference is that Okay, this is where I have to stop.
Okay, let me help you with a little bit. So I think array is used for storing other collections
Okay,
of
go on.
elements.
Go on.
Sorry. Hello.
Yes, you're correct. Go on. Go on.
So, for example, let's say we have a particular um, what's it called? Key. So, and we want to assign a lot of numbers to it. So, the best way to move is to use an array. So, I can say, let's Shegun has a lot of properties. Or if I want to attach a lot of properties to Shegun, so all I just have to do is use an array. So let's Shegun equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. So for objects, so object is just like for storing collections. So let me just say of keys, of key value. Yes, let me say that. So, for example, let's say we want to assign some stuff to Shegun. So I can now say, let Shegun be name. Okay, let person be name Shegun, age 30, city New York. So in codes, I'm going to say value array is used for storing other collections, and I'm going to say objects are used for storing key values.
Also, but associative arrays also have keys and their values. So are they not like, would they not have the same use as an object in that case?
Thank you very much. So what just let me explain. So for instance, and the major difference between an array and an object is for an, let's say, as I've always said, it's an array.
Sorry, I can't hear anything. Am I the only one not hearing?
I think he went off.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see you.
You can
I can't
hear?
see anything.
Ah,
I don't think it's still online.
All of you have bad network. I can see you. You people, your network is bad.
The one.
I got so you kindly hand over the host back to you. Just don't go my name and put the host back to me. It's okay.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, I'm here. I tell you.
yes, I can
I
hear.
can you hear me? Just click on my name and then give me the host. You are the current host.
I can hear you. Okay.
It's not done that yet. Click on my name.
How do I do it? Okay.
Just click on my name. If you click on my name, you see me post. There's like
On your
an
name.
option there. Yes.
Okay.
Then you see me post. Oh,
Make host. Okay.
yes. Thank you very much. I apologize for that. The network put me out, but I'll go on and share my screen now and we'll continue. So yeah, basically, as I was saying, can you guys see my screen?
We can
Yes,
see your screen.
yes.
Yes, I was saying that the core difference between an array and an object is the
Yes, you can see your
identification.
screen.
Now,
I wanted to give an example. Okay, don't worry.
A tray has like an object now, and you have a visitor that came to your house on a Sunday. And you wanted to give the visitor rice, meat, let's say Fanta, and water, and stew separately. You can easily do that holding an array. So instead of saying let's rice equals rice, let's base equals beans, this equals that, you can easily put them in an array. So you can say rice. You can see um, Fanta. And you can see meat. Ordinary. In as much as the keys are the index, this array, you can't really tell which is which compared to so I'll convert this to food now. So food, or let's say food, instead of obligatory, we can say food. So food is equals to an object, and this object in have mail is equals the rice. We can say we can come and say what should we give? Okay, drink is equals to Fanta. And we can also say drink too
Hello, what I'm saying is different from what you are saying. No, I don't know if it's my screen.
is equals to water.
Same here too.
It is your screen.
So what I've done, in as much as these two are similar, but there's
What's happening?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
My network is hit. Kashmir, do the next way again. Kindly do what you need to do. Yes, my network is bad. I apologize for that. Can you make
Which
it
networks are you using, Abdul?
I'm using Airtel.
Airtel. Okay.
Okay, people.
So let's go back to sharing my screen. I'll go now. So we're saying, I see my code now. Someone was saying you don't see my screen.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, now. So basically for the array, we have the array listing out all the items one by one. But the major difference is that there's no key to it. If you want to access Fanta now, you don't know. Let's say we are giving this Fanta to who doesn't know what Fanta is. You might think Fanta is to wash his hand. Do you understand? But with an object now, we can simply indicate that the drink is Fanta. So if you want to drink now, drink Fanta or you drink the water. You don't go ahead and start drinking the stew because it's in an array or in a tray. Do you understand? So there's like a key to it and also a value to it. Compared to the tray now, it's an array, which does not have just the value. To get like the key of this particular array is to use indexing, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. But you can't particularly say that which is which, or you don't know what is what with an array. In as much as they are very similar, even when we check the type of, we saw that an array is also an object. But the major difference is just the key here and the value here compared to what we have in an array, which we have just a series of items. But the only way to access or to tell is through the indexing. Do you understand? So this, in a way, is how to simplify. Okay, this is what an array is, and this is what an object is. For an array, you just have a list of items. It can be different data types, true, false, number, strings, a null, undefined, anything you can put in an array. But for an object, you have the key and the value. You have property in an object, and it's easy to. And for an object, so you can also increase a function. Let's say const add two numbers. It equals to this. Yes. I'm using this one. Yeah, let's say okay. Function. Use the function to what? Move this. Put. We did this earlier. Let me see. There are an object, and for here we want to create a function for another array. Let's see. Um, to find array now, you can also for an object you can do this. Good. I'll play back to us. Now, if you come here for an object, you can also include an array inside and say a plus a plus b. It works here. But let's say now you want to perform a particular function, and in that function you want to use let me move this, let me move it to the two step. You want to use this CR name instead of R2. If you notice now, A plus B, C plus A, they have the same two value here and same two value here. So if you're performing a function now and you want to use this particular one, you know you can't easily access it with an array. So you have to start saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But with an object, you can easily say food dot. Then you have that. Let's see, function dot.
Main dish.
I love this paper. The item down. This is not somewhere. Give me a minute to figure that out. Something is not somewhere. Um, hold the minute. Hold the minute. If I deep dive now, it might go too far. But let's just take it based on differences here. For tray, we have this particular item, and the difference between the food object and the tray object is that for the food you have the key value, the key and the value. You have the key and the value. You can either access food with drink or food with so as we've done here, we said okay, you have the girl and the girl the last name, return the last name, girl the age, return the age. But if you're doing an array, you can't easily do this. All you have to do is start finding the particular index. So in most cases, there are times where you need to use an array and there are times where you need to use an object. Everything is based off preference on what you want personally. Do you understand? But most at times why you see that people use objects the most is it's easier to tell which is which. And you can have like an array of objects because if you are returning data or if you are getting data from the backend, which would also do here, you can get an array with about 10, 20, 30 objects inside that array. So for you to get a particular item, you have to use this map method. I don't want to deal with this yet. That's why I cost. But to get an object from an array and like do what you need to do, basically that's what it entails. But just put it in mind that for an object, you have the key and the value. But for the tray, you just have your value. But using the index as the key. So you can't really tell which is which to an outside person. And that's what differentiates two of them. Do you understand that? Somebody asked that question. Do you understand?
Sorry, I didn't hear the last word you just said. Can you please repeat yourself?
Okay, I said here. The major difference between the tray and the food or the array and the object is for the array, the only way to key them is using the index that we said key index is equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. But for the food, you have your key here, and you also have your value here. So if you want to access the main dish, it's easy to say which is which. So you're telling the person, okay, drink Fanta first or drink water first. You can also say food dot drink, or you can say food dot drink two. So it's easy to like access it based of the key. But for the array, in as much as it's also an object, because the type of array is an object, we have a key here, and you can't easily do what you do with an object with an array. Is that better?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
So I asked the question on the chat, like what of an associative array? Can't you also access the values with
Where the chat is. Arrays are the best usual elements, Come again with your question. You said
I said, can't you, what of in the case of an associative arrays with key value pairs? Can't you also act as an object, or can't you also access the values with
now
the
give me an
keys?
example. Associative array. Give me an example. I'm you.
What did you say?
Let's take an example from the associative array.
Yeah, with their keys and their values.
Now, I have a const now, associative array. Let's take an example from you. So what does it mean? Let's go on.
So
like give me
like
an
this.
example. This and
Okay, I think the key is a string, and then the value would be the value. Yeah.
So we have rice.
Maybe food. Then the value is rice.
Okay, we have food. Then where does the value come?
In front of it now, the way you wrote the object.
Right, like this. Like this.
No, they are not all in one string. The key is a string on its own.
No, it's not. You can't do that basically. You know why? So for instance, now where I say this, we have food here in a string, and you come here and say rice. Yeah. Is this what you mean?
Oh. No, it's okay. Just
No. You have a question here. Let's get down to it. So this is what you mean. You have food here and you have rice.
So are there no associative arrays in JavaScript? That's what I'm asking.
I'm telling you now to like elaborate on the term associative arrays. What do you mean by associative arrays?
Arrays that have keys. You can identify instead of their index, accessing them with the index, with their index, you access them with their keys. That's what I asked.
What for now we have this food and this rice. What is the key for the food? What is the key for the rice?
Okay. So I said the keys are they are strings, and then the values, just like what you did with the object. So instead of the comma, you put the
So
colon.
now we have
Yes.
and we have right.
But
This is what you mean.
the keys are string. The keys, not the values. Yes.
This be careful like this.
Yes.
So what do you know? There's an error here because what is expected is a comma. We can't practically write your arrays using like a key and a value. If you want to do that, then you have to switch to an object. Do you understand? Like it's as easy as that. For instance, what you're trying to implement now, you're trying to implement an object logic for an array logic. You have your key in a string and also have your look. Let's come here and put string here. You see, it takes out the string because it can't hold. Do you understand? If you want to put like several items singularly, it's just putting them in a string. So I can put maybe this rice, I can put 2, I can put 2 here. But I can't come and say number, then I'll put this number in a string, then come and say colon, then I'll say 3. No, it doesn't work like that. The only way to key your array is using index. And I already explained that in the class. So I can come and say console.log 3. If I come and say 0 here, what pops up in the array is what? Can anybody tell me?
Rice.
What pops up in the right? Because what
Rice, rice.
the key basically now is this 0. Do you understand? And that's the index. And that's the only way you can basically access this particular rice. You can also use it to change the value. Do you understand? But if you are saying we should indicate, oh, that this rice now is main dish, then colon, you have to treat it to an object. So there are 2 different things. In as much as you want to put quote unquote associative array, you can use what is meant to be an object in an array, and you can also use what is meant to be an array in an object. So if at any point in time you want to create where you have your key and your value in the same line, then you have to switch to an object. But if you just need it to be like a serial item, then you have to switch it to your array. Exactly.
Yes, please. Thanks.
Okay. Any questions before going? Any questions?
Excuse me, sir. I have a question, sir.
Yes, go on.
I have a question, sir.
Yes,
And
go
my
on.
question goes this way. Can we make an array as the value of an object?
Yes, we can. I did that here. So for
Yeah,
instance,
I
now
wasn't
here.
paying attention then, so
Okay, no issues. I can as well say that let's say 3. Let's say const no, let me just do this here. Let's say food. Basically now here, food here is holding item 3. So what happens automatically is that this is converted to array, and food is holding it. So everything under this is here under food. So we've made food an array. Is that clear?
yes.
Okay.
Hello,
So
sir.
yes, go on. This is the last
Yeah,
question I'll take.
I think what this guy is trying to say regarding the associate array is that you can access those values through your keys in your console.
So I can say console.log.
Yes. So you can say console. No. Let's use object.
No, we are going to use array because you made mention of array. So let's use array.
Okay, so you can say console.log. Then in brackets, tray. No, in bracket, then column. No. Then what's it called? Brackets. Another curly brackets.
Another curly bracket.
No. Curly bracket.
Yes. This is curly
Then,
bracket.
no. The second one. I mean,
this one.
No. The
This
normal
one.
array bracket. The normal, the normal array bracket. Yeah.
Square bracket. It's called square bracket.
Yeah, square bracket. Yeah. Then tray in quotes.
Then three inputs
Yes.
like this.
Yes.
Okay, let's go to the console and check. So I'll console log all these out. So what we expect you to see first before we go on? So we'll know we expect.
Yeah, we should
So
be
now
able to
see what?
yeah, we should be able to see the arrays. I mean the keys, the values, sorry.
Let's go to our console. What do we have?
Doubt
Undefined.
it.
And please, who have been in our class? Can anybody explain to me why we have undefined here?
Okay, no. Okay, I think we are not specifying where we want the we need to specify the, so let's say maybe
First off, I want to ask a question. Were you in the last class when we discussed array?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So our advice is here. Kindly go back to the classes on YouTube and check what we talked about arrays. So you understand. Now, if you want to access any property here, the only
You
thing
use
to do
index.
is, do you understand? So the index for this is 0. Do you understand? If you want to say you want to patch this or you want to patch tree, there's no indication of tree here. So let's switch this to Rust. And let's go back to our console. What do you still get? Undefined. Why? Because you can't use it. The only thing you can use to indicate your array now is to use it as 0, 1, 2, 3. So all these numbers now are the keys, and each keys are assigned to each item on this array, starting from 0. So if you start 1, 2, 3, now check your console and you're expecting to see Fanta, you see water there, because water is what? The fourth item on the array, indexing from 0. So array also have keys, but the keys are numbers. Do you understand? Compared to what we have here, when we indicated that you have a get object. To identify anything other than get object, just use dots. You can't practically say, okay, this dots. Now it's telling you to push map. We are doing this now, looping. So if for instance I want to display all the items, I can just come and say map, then say item, return the items. If I check my console now, everything that is on the array that was pops up here. Do you understand? So it's quite different from what you guys, but I don't really know what you're trying to implement with the associative array, quote unquote. What I'm saying is for an array, for an object, the way to key an array is use an index. But for an object, you have the key here and you have the value here. Is that clear?
Yeah.
And please, if you know in the last class where we discussed array and discussed objects, you can kindly refer to it. So we'll move forward. So basically, I'll go on with the class. I think I have less than an hour. So we discussed how to add. We already did that. Well, discussed how to add to an object. And basically, it mirrors this particular method. This is how to add to an object. Maybe I'll just keep it up here. Add to an object. So you create your object array, then use this to add any object or any property you want to that object. You can also delete, like we did for the array. You can also delete. So you can come and say, let's say we want to delete age. So you can say delete. Then we'll come up and say person dot age. So if you come here and console log person, if you don't see, let me clean up console log so we don't confuse us. Yes, let's check our console. Let's refresh. Trace not defined. What's the calling trace? Yes, here. I remove it. So let's go back to our console. Let's refresh. Yes. So we are seeing first name, last name, and color. What we have now is the age has disappeared because we deleted the age. So this has to delete command, delete a property from an object. So I've giving us how to delete properties. And we can also use the way we access items here. So you can delete with this method, and also with this method. But I'll just illustrate this. But let me just do another demo for us. I can say delete um, person. Then I can come and say, instead of using the dots, I'll come and indicate, let's say, color. So I've accessed the color using this particular array notation, or you can use it using the dot notation. So if I check on person again, I expect to see only two, the first name and the last name, because what we deleted the age and also deleted the color. Do you understand? So I'll cancel this out and cancel this out. So let's go on with our properties. So you can also nest an object in an object. So let's practicalize that and say, let's say const um, obj object is equals to an object. So for this object now, we are taking tutors into consideration. Let's say tutors. Let's use tutors. So for the first tutor, let's use Toby. So let's say Toby. Toby now is another object. So let's go on and introduce him. His name is Toby, and his class is CSS. Let's put an age to its ages 30. Then we can come on and say another tutor is Shane. She's another object. And we'll say Shane's age. Shane's name is Shane. We can also come and say his age is, I'm guessing his age, I don't know his age. Let's say 38. Then we can say class. Then we'll say git. I mean, it was you guys git. Now, what I've done is I've created an object, but in that object, there are also objects inside. Now, this object basically is holding a profile for
Can you still hear him?
No, I can't hear
No,
him.
no, no.
It is.
Hello, what's happening now? Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
His network is very poor.
I can hear you.
Is it necessary I go there and go spend money? And they will pay.
Alpha. How the
Please mute your mic.
Considering you're the host, you can continue now.
Ethel is dealing with me today. I don't know why I did. Ethel is dealing with me today. I apologize for being inconvenienced. Of course. Please are used. Catherine, please read it for me. I'm very, very sorry.
You don't have
Okay.
control over it. It's Nigeria issue. It can
But I
happen
have to
to
apologize.
anybody.
I have to apologize too. Yeah, so I'll go and share my screen. I apologize to everybody for the inconvenience. So yeah, back to our code. So as I was saying here, trying to like mirror this into an array would give us something like this, which is very, very hard. So in best case scenario, you just have to use an object to do that. So this is also how to like mirror an object is an object. You can likely do this. So if you want to access anything now, yes, so you can just say let's do console.log objects. Let's say tutor dot. So we have two tutors here. We have she and we have 2D. So if for instance you want to use only she, you can come here and just choose she. So if you go to our console and check our console, you should have only she as an icon. If you come back here and change it to 2B, you should have the properties for 2B. Do you understand? So we can come and say, okay, inside this 2B, I want to access its age. If you go to our array, you see only 30 will show. So these are like another way of accessing deeply nested objects. It's an object. And remember, this is not the only way to do it. You can also come and see age. Come and see age and check. You see the same code, the same 30 here. So you can use that way basically to do it. And I explained that what you see most likely outside is just that dot. It's called the dot notation. So you likely see the dot notation outside. Then what else we talk about? We talk about how to use array for an object. Now let's come on and see design. So we have design class now. We have the design course basically. So let's say the design has 3 tutors. You can also come here and see for each design array we have the name. Then we have one of them is dummy, I think. Yes. Then we can also say for dummy, his own class is UX. Then we can come and say his age is, let's say 31 in case it. We can come on and say comma, then make another object again that holds another name. And one of their names is I don't know. I'll just use Abdul as an instance. Then come and say class, let's see UI. Then we'll come and see age. Let's see 12. So what I've done now is I've replicated this an array in an object holding another object. Do you understand? So especially in cases where you're expecting large amount of data, because most times you have to work with backend and backend sends data. And now let me illustrate that with us like a real life scenario. Let me open a tab where we have hold on. I think I have a tab open that shows us this. Let me see. I'm coming. Just hold on a minute. Yes. So this is Postman. So Postman is what backend developers work with, and It's what mirrors like how your data is structured to the front end. Now, I want to show us an example of what we'll be dealing with once we start working with APIs. So APIs or endpoints are like how we communicate with backend. So let's give it a minute to reload, and I would explain to us how they send data to the front end. So for instance, we want to access like, and I'll illustrate the differences also while using an array and also using an object. So code, let's see. Yes, we have authentication here. So this all these items here, we have register, login, forgot password, confirm password, the password. All these basically are just how do I put it? Are endpoints that mirrors or that brings out data. Now you can see that there's an object here. Object basically is an email and a password. Now to verify a user, you have to send this object to the backend. You can't send it as an array. Do you know why? Because if you're sending this as an array, all you need to do is just to put this call and this password. But you most likely get an error. And I'll illustrate that to us now. Let me cancel this and let me put an array and let me put call. Let me put two items because we have two items and we have a password. As you can see, we already have like errors here. Let me say password. It's not even going because what? We have an error. And you can use an array in this case, regardless of what you think might be possible. But all you can do now is using an object. And the object, for that object, now you have the email, which is the key, and the value. You also have an email, which is the key and the value. Do you understand? So for here now, we can come and say, let me use dot I. This is mine. So let's see. I'll switch this here. And let me say it again. Yes. So if you notice now, there's a response. And the response is saying that in each response, not everyone is an object. And for every object here, it has a key and a value to it. So imagine that it's an array. We don't have all these status, message, stack, level, timestamp. No, we don't have that. Only what you will say is the first invalid credential. So you can't really tell which is which here. Do you understand? So that's like the major difference between an array and an object. You have that key to load that key. I was unable to log in. Why? Because I'm entering what? An invalid login credential. Do you understand? So if I'm messing up let me confirm my email and I'll log in and let's see. Hold on, let me confirm my email. Let me confirm my email just for a minute. This personal stuff. Let me start and share again. 1 minute. Where my email? My email. Yes, the clock team. So I confirmed it now. Share now. Yeah. So let's change this now to the blockchain. If I press login now, now we have a different array, and we have what? We have an object, then we have data as a key, and also an object. Now for this object, you can see there's an ID, there's a first name, there's the email, profile picture. So with this now, it's very, very easy to identify anything here. So if, for instance, I want to access like the type under identity, what you do is you get the response dot data dot identity dot type. You get your type here, or data dot verification dot email verified. You get your value here. So you can't do this with an array because what? You don't have your key to it. Do you understand? You only have your value, but you don't have your key to it. So this is like a real life scenario of what an object looks like in most instances. If you're getting your data back, let's go to profile and let's send. You can see a more structured object here. And this is basically real life scenario because this is a project I'm working on, and this is like a data from real life instance. So you can see like this. Now, there's an object and there's an array here. What array is doing is holding an object again, and this object has different items under it. You can see how symbols from the items is. So just imagine you have to do this only an array. It becomes extremely difficult. So this is where object comes in place and an array comes in place. So it's possible to have an object in an array and an object in an array, and you can go as deep as possible. So this is like a real life scenario of what object looks like in the real world. And we'll get to work with something like this moving forward. So let's go back to our code, examples. So as I
All
had
these
told you
things,
guys
all
earlier,
what you've shown us now, is it back end or also front end work?
that's backend. Everything you're getting there is coming from the backend. But how you relate with it is from the front end. Do you understand?
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. So we'll treat one more case here before we move on. And that case will be like object method. So we'll discuss how to access object properties. We'll discuss how to create objects. We've emphasized what the difference between an array and an object is. And if you have any other questions or you're still confused to what it does, you can basically buzz me up. Then I would explain to the best of my ability. So for methods, just like we have for our arrays, like I signify, we have the length, we have the pop fit. We also have similar cases to the objects. Now, for instance, we have let me read this out. So we want to access the name here, and for this name, we want to access. We want to change everything here to uppercase. So everything should be capital letter D, A, M, and I instead of the capital letter A and normal. So I can come and say, okay, let's access. Let me leave this on. Let's access to be, and let's access the name dot name. So if I press dot now, these are several methods available for that particular object. And every method here has what it does. So we have to lowercase, meaning converting the name to lower letters. And you also have to uppercase, which also converts the string to upper letters. You also have concat, you also have ends with, include. You have split, you have different methods that you likely would use. But in most case scenario here, it boils down to what you want to do. Now, let's say for instance, you are given a date string. I need to convert the date to a particular time zone or a particular format because we have the UTC format, we have the local format, we have the ISO format. So if you are given a date from the backend ordinarily, and let's go back to that array that I showed you guys earlier. So let's see, yes, this basically is like a date format. I'll copy this date format. Now I'll copy it and I'll put it here. So I'll string this out and I'll say console.log this. I'll put it in string. Now this is a string and this is a date format. But if we check our console, we'll see that where's our console? Let's go back to our console. Yes, this is our console. We see that this is practically unreadable. Only what you get here is 224, 4th, and 30th. But the rest item here, which might be the time, this is the time T time 13:46 and 36 seconds. But in most cases, you don't see your time like this. Do you understand? And you need to convert it. There are methods available. So what we'll do now is let's first off convert this to a date because the browser doesn't know it's a date. So if I press dots here, I don't get any indications. But let's convert this to a date first. So converting it to a date, we just say new date. I make sure I start with the capital letter first. Then you put the date here. So now converted this to a date. Then if we come here, we'll get different type of string or methods. So these are the methods basically to assign to this date object. So if you come and say to ISO string, and we'll go back and check our console. Oh, I have to call it. Let's call it here. This is the standard format to ISO string. So what we got back, the tag is the ISO string. So if you come and change to UTC, so let's change to UTC. to UTC string, we'll see that it will change. Now we have Tuesday, 30th April 2024, and we have our time and our second. You can also come and say to local string. So let's go back and say to local string. To local string. Let's just use local string. If we come, we'll see that this particular format changed. So string based or methods basically are assigned to objects where you perform different kinds of operation or different kind of actions depending on what you want. So if the user wants this kind of format, you are going to convert it to this kind of format. If you want it in this kind of format to the UTC, then you convert it to this kind of format. So basically, I'm just trying to explain what methods are. So we have different kind of methods assigned to an object. Do you understand? So in as well as we can come out here and say, okay, our Toby.name, I want to convert it to uppercase. So we can say to uppercase, to uppercase. And what we are expected to see on the console is just, I have to cut. I always forget to comment. Let's come back and call here. So let's see, we are seeing Toby. So Toby initially here is lower capitalized, starting the capital letter and everything is lowercase. Once it's changed to uppercase, everything becomes capital letter. We can also say to lowercase, then come and check. Let's refresh. You see everything is lowercase. And lowercase is mostly significant when you're starting. So for instance, in some cases, when you're starting your data, and you see a search bar and you're trying to like filter out your items, we'll talk about filter, reduce, map, and set later on. But for now, just an instance, if you are trying to filter, the first ideal thing to do is to convert to a lowercase because capital letter T and small letter T are not the same thing. In as much as it's TT, but in most cases, it's not the same thing. So what you have to do first, regardless, is to first convert your string to a lowercase before performing the action for filtering. So these are also some methods to use. I'll give this as an example as an assignment to us for us to research more on different methods to use. But for now, let's just know that okay, there are instances where you can use methods on a particular object to get a particular thing. Someone was trying to ask a question.
So is it that if it is in capital T, it won't be able to search well or what? Except
Yes,
if you come.
it will be able to search well. So for instance, you might have Toby in your your data as returned. TOBI. If you enter capital letter, it won't see it. So most at times what they do is if you're entering a letter on the search bar, behind the scene, it's converting it to a lowercase. So it's able to match it with what is being sent or being received from the backend. Also for backend, doing backend, what they do most of the times is if you're sending the data from the front end, they first of all convert it down to lowercase because lowercase is more or less like the baseline. Do you understand? You know that there's a common ground for starting.
Okay.
Someone is asking this. Someone asking a question.
I'm saying okay, I'm not asking a question.
So basically, that's all we'll be doing today because there's a class right after this. I don't want to take much of our time. So for tomorrow's class, I'll drop some things for us to do against tomorrow to make it easier and to make it more interactive. But so far, so good. We've discussed on objects and we've discussed how to create objects, how to add items to objects, how to get items in objects, how to nest objects with an array with different objects, how to also access methods for objects. So tomorrow we'll be going deeper into loops, or depends on. I'll look at our syllabus and see what we'll do. But
Can you please
for
post
now,
the syllabus now so that I can do the screenshots? You've been saying you post it, post
let
it
me
here so that I can do the screenshot. Thank you.
let me bring it to your screen. So this is the syllabus. Let me copy and paste it on Slack. Let me paste it on Slack. Slack. Let's go. Slack. Content. paste. Yeah. So this is the syllabus, and we
Thank you.
basically no problem. You're welcome. I'm not done yet. I think okay, yes, I am. So we've done at least 50% of all this. Before Thursday, we complete this 100%. So any questions so far so good? Before we end this class and continue tomorrow. Any questions? Any questions? That guy that asked about associative array, is this here?
Yeah, I'm here.
So do you understand like an overview of what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah, yeah. I did some research too, actually, so I understand what the object and the array, like the differences and their use cases. So, thank you.
No problem. Anybody else like has any questions? Is Adama here?
Sorry, I also checked, and there's nothing like associative array in JavaScript. Like it doesn't support associative array. Instead, you call it objects.
Yeah, that's correct.
This is a common ground to learning, and as an individual, I support. Let me stop sharing. Let's talk. Let me stop recording. Let's just talk. Stop sharing and stop recording. Stop recording.